Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, precious people. Welcome to my video. Hello, my name is Farah Nurkumaila, and here I want to share with you the novel that I read by the title Finding You by Carla Neggers. Alright, so this story is about a woman named Cozy Hawthorne. She's a writer and a small-town newspaper editor who recently became famous after her book unexpectedly became a bestseller. Even though she's successful, Cozy prefers a quiet life in her hometown in Vermont. But things start to get strange when she begins receiving anonymous phone calls during her book tour. But the voice isn't threatening, but it clearly knows where she is. So that scares her. And then, trying to relax from her job, Cozy returns to her old farmhouse and goes back to her daily routine. And one day, her brother Seth tells her someone just rented her old sawmill house nearby. That new tenant turns out to be a man named Daniel Forrest, who is polite, quiet, and clearly not a local. And what Cozy doesn't know is that the name is not his real name. So, Daniel is actually Daniel Foxworth, a former military man and oil fire expert from Texas. He was nearly killed in a helicopter crash along with his partner J.D. McGuire during a mission to stop a fire on an oil tanker. But the crash wasn't just bad luck. Daniel believes someone caused it on purpose. And now he's in here in Vermont to find that answers. Because before the crash, a woman named Julia Fenneker was supposed to be on the helicopter with him. But she pulled out last minute after an argument with Seth, Cozy's brother. So that makes Seth a suspect, especially since he also works for Julia's family, the Fennekers, who are powerful media people. So yeah, Daniel is here to find out if Seth was involved. And Cozy has no idea about any of this. At first, she's just confused by her new tenant who chops wood like a pro and seems too capable to be just some guy from the city. But little by little, she notices some things. Because Daniel starts asking questions about Julia, so he's clearly not just here for fresh air, right? Meanwhile, Cozy is still trying to ignore the creepy phone calls. But it gets harder when she finds out Seth has gone missing. And then, Julia goes public and says Seth has been stalking her. And things get even messier when some evidence shows that Seth might have been following Cozy during her book tour. And yup, Daniel and Cozy start talking more, and Daniel finally tells her the truth about who really is, the crash, and his suspicions. And of course, Cozy is very shocked, but she agrees to help him. Even though, deep down, she believes her brother is incapable of hurting anyone, even if the evidence looks very, very bad. But after a few days of searching, they finally find Seth hiding in an old cellar. He's wounded, scared, and says someone tried to kill him. So Cozy takes care of him and promises to protect him. And Daniel knows Seth isn't the villain now, but that means someone is trying to make it look like he is, right? So, and then, as they look for the real answers, they found out more about Julia's games and how much control her family has over everything. Julia might not be the one who planted the bomb, but she knows more than she says. But still, no one can touch her because her name is too big. And then, on the other hand, in the middle of all of this, Cozy and Daniel start growing closer. Their connection is low and quiet, but built on honesty and shared pressure. And Cozy, who's always been independent, finally finds comfort in Daniel's comfort presence. And also Daniel, who's been carrying guilt and doubt, start to feel like he belongs. And yeah, long story short, the truth came out, and Seth is cleared, and the crash was no accident. So it connects back to people around Julia. But because of her family's power, no one is really punished, and Daniel is offered a way to clear his name, but he chooses to stay in Fairmont for now. So yeah, Cozy doesn't need saving, but for the first time, she lets someone stay close, and Daniel, who came to Vermont with nothing but questions about her case, finally finds something real, peace, and someone to come home to. And yeah, of course, that's Cozy. But yeah, as we know, not everything ended perfectly. So in the end, Daniel didn't get the truth out to the world, and the people who caused the crash never got punished, but something changed in him. He stopped running, and for the first time, he let someone in. Living in a small cabin with the sound of the brook and a woman who once scolded him about bats in the attic, Daniel finally felt calm. So he didn't come to Vermont looking for love, but somehow he found it anyway. Alright, precious people, I think that's all the story of mine. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.